Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. We've talked about spells, we've talked about grimoires and magical tomes written in human blood and bound in human flesh. Well,
Yum yum.
now we're going to talk about the other things that you can run across that can give or take away your life, and that is artifacts. Yes, these are magical things that you can use. Maybe they're a plant by some evil god to steal your soul away, but maybe they're not, and we're going to find out right now.
The best tabletop RPG groups follow these core values to respect the campaign setting, the game, and the people at the table. Refer to the URL in the video's description to donate to the charity we support, the Wounded Warrior Project. Sunday on Rumble and YouTube, we provide tabletop RPG game, system, and setting overviews. Then on Friday, a panel of guests editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. Thursdays and Saturdays are when Heathen Dog leads his Dirty Casuals video game squad on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth. Please like and share this video with your friends and on social media, and subscribe to Legion of Myth for more tabletop RPG content.
All right. And we are now going into artifacts. Ooh, stop it. There we go. Almost got this down. Although most investigators tend to see creatures of the mythos as little more than malignant monsters. Wait, am I in the right place? Artifacts and alien devices, yes. Yeah, I am. Okay, well then we'll move on. Like I said, I've never read this before, so we're seeing it for the first time, both of us. In truth, many of them have vibrant and technologically advanced societies. Advanced races such as the Elder Things, the Migo, Serpent People, and the Yithians all possess the ability to construct and utilize technology in the pursuit of their agendas. The Migo especially, we're going to talk about them in the sidebar in a second, but they are a big factor in the fourth and fifth edition Delta Green. Mythos races, human cultists, and wizards may occasionally have access to ancient and otherworldly artifacts as well as to scientific marvels. I guess that makes sense. A selection of technology and arcane artifacts follows. Most humans would be unable to tell the difference between a piece of advanced scientific equipment and a magical mythos artifact, as both are essentially beyond mankind's level of comprehension and ability to reproduce.
Question about that. That absolutely makes perfect sense if you're talking 1800s and maybe even up to the 1920s. Today, I mean, that wouldn't hold true for, say, like a Delta Green thing, would it?
Yeah, it would. It would, because the mythos devices we're talking about, they are centuries ahead of us technologically, because they understand the actual fundamentals of the universe, where we're just making crap up and hoping it works. These items are very much, you open them up, some of them exist in our plane of existence at different times.
No, I agree with you there, but I'm saying, yeah, I think we could tell the difference between some sort of technology and some weird alien artifact at this point.
No.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to find out in a minute. We're going to find out. What mankind may consider to be high magic could well be a technological in nature, and vice versa. Here's the Migo. I hate these guys. Not only are the Migo technologically advanced several hundred years beyond that of Earth, but they also are eager to use it. Technology is very much part of their daily life. The Migo originally came to Earth to steal certain minerals they could not find on their own worlds. Thus, most technology that the Migo have brought to Earth relates to mining or to war. The Migo also touch upon the edges of the dark technology of the mythos gods, perhaps more so than any other mythos race. They created Godamon, a larval great old one, from a seed of Azathoth. They formed the shining trapezohedron, which has a peculiar power over an aspect of Narlotep. I'm getting that wrong, I don't care. And they constructed a network of magical gates which tie together many of their outposts. They made stargates, for Christ's sake. Come on, man. I mean, all of their stuff is like next generation era Star Trek versus 1200s France. All right, that's the technological difference we're talking about here, and it is so vast. It is a chasm that the humans cannot even see the other side let alone understand anything of.
So we can play Call of Cthulhu in space.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
All right, so we'll go through some of it. Web armor. This is gonna be weird. Used by the Migo. Now the Migo are fungus people. All right, and if I remember correctly, they have a problem with memories. All of their cells hold racial memories, but they only have so much. They don't have distinct brains.
Racial memory or genetic memory?
I guess both or
Okay.
either. It's hard to comprehend, really.
Okay.
So they only have so much room for all the memories of their race in their body. So they have to pick and choose. So they don't know how their race started. They dumped that information a long time ago. They're like millions of years old and they have no idea what planet they're from or what they were before they were spacefaring. They have no idea. They don't remember. In danger situations, the Migo typically don these webs of semi-luminous green slime. The harness provides 8 points of armor against blows, flame, electricity, etc. Now, in comparison, I believe Kevlar vest is something like 2 or 3. Humans may wear these biowebs, but take 1 point of damage as hair and flesh are ripped away each time the armor is removed. Not wearing it.
It's stuck to you. It's like ripping off duct tape.
Exactly. Yes, it's the strong. It's like duct tape, but instead of using the regular adhesive, they use
super glue.
Use Gorilla Glue instead.
Oh, Gorilla Glue.
Bioweb will slowly degrade because humans do not exude the proper nutrient solutions to care for it. So it's waiting for food from you, and you're not giving it, so it starves to death eventually. Each time it is worn by a human, a bioweb decreases in protection by 1 point. When no armor points remain, the armor disintegrates into a steaming, sticky pool of viscous matter. Whether there are significant side effects to wearing this armor is unknown. That last sentence,
hint, Game Master.
Yeah, that last sentence tells the keeper, "Oh no, make up some stuff." Like, well, if it only hurts you if you take it off, I won't take it off. Oh, well, okay.
No. You let that linger. You use it for a session, 2 sessions, 5 sessions. They forget about it. It's the greatest thing ever. And then slowly you find that there are tendrils inside of you and your eyes just turn black or something. You let it slowly creep, something that they kind of forget about. And then it's got you. Or you take it off and now you need it.
Oh, yeah. It's actually replaced a vital function of your body, and now you're dying without it. That's great.
You have leprosy without it.
That would be awesome. And then we have, you know what? We're going to do the Migo again, the brain cylinder, this thing. What the hell is a brain cylinder? Well, we're going to find out.
Is it like the Zenragellan brain box from Battlelords?
That would be fun. But let's see. These shiny cylinders are used to preserve extracted brains.
Yep.
There you go. Lovecraft described them as a foot high and somewhat less in diameter, with 3 curious sockets set in an isosceles triangle over the front convex surface. Each cylinder is filled with a nutrient solution that sustains the brain within. Think of
Soylent Green.
No. Think of Fry, Bender. What's that show?
Futurama.
Think of Futurama, the little brain boxes they have.
Oh, the heads in the jars, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. 3 accessory machines, a tall rig with twin lenses mounted on the front, a box of vacuum tubes, stuff like that, comprise the Migo sensing apparatus. These machines, when connected to the proper sockets, remember there's 3, provide the brain with the faculties of sight, speech, and hearing. The Migo, not possessed of human senses, have done their best. This is great. However, it is but an approximation of sound and vision. All visual input is grainy, of low general resolution, and the audio is flat like a mono-aural phonograph.
You're watching a 1920s film.
Yeah. You're seeing a 1920s film and you're speaking like you're a speak and spell. You know, that's basically what's going on. Speech, with all its nuances and inflection and emotion, is utterly lost on the fungi. They don't understand it. The speech machine talks with a mechanical, monotone voice devoid of emotion. When the sensory machines are disconnected or deactivated, the encased brain falls into a semi-insane sleep state filled with strange dreams and hallucinations.
You think?
Every month, a human brain is enclosed within a cylinder. The brain must roll under or equal to its intelligence. If it's successful, the brain remembers it is stuck inside a tin can and loses 1d3 sanity points.
That's
So
it.
it's every month, and they're not going to let you out. What are you high? They're not going to let you out. There's no body to put you back into. Migo don't care. They're just going to keep you in there until you implode and then get a new one. So that's bad. This right here is an adventure in itself. Like, you're looking for little Timmy. Timmy was abducted by aliens. The Migo took him and put him in a brain box. That's what happened. So you found good news. You found Timmy. Bad news. He's in a brain box. Crystal of the Elder Things. We're going to skip ahead after this one.
Okay.
Large crystalline storage containers constructed to harness the power needed to bind Shoggoths to the Elder Thing will. These that's a creature we're going to get to next segment. The smallest shards might store 5 magic points and the largest 100. A caster can draw some or all the magic points from a crystal while casting a spell. This is actually good. This is a non-rechargeable battery for human spellcasters. If you get a hold of it and you know how to tap into the power, you can cast spells all day, real strong ones too. When empty, these crystals are room temperature, but they become colder as more magic points are stored in them. To access the magic points stored, the user must become attuned to the specific crystal. Very, very 5e. There must be a physical contact, and the user must spend 1d6 rounds attuning to the vibrations of the crystal. On the final round, a power roll must be made. With success, the user can draw upon the magic points within as needed. Note that only Elder Things have the ability to understand to invest crystals with further magic points. So only Elder Things can charge it, but anyone properly attuned can draw from it. That's great. That this is actually another good thing to throw in at investigators who you want to make them go insane using magic spells. All right, let's move on. Several pages. Oh, here we go. That shining trapezohedron we spoke of earlier. The one that the Migo made.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Why does everything Migo make? Does anybody else create anything?
No, well, that there were the Elder Things when we saw the Serpent People one that I didn't actually read, but the Migo are more prominent in this list because they're the ones who make more technological looking items.
Okay.
It was a nearly black, red striated polyhedron with many irregular flat surfaces, either a very remarkable crystal of some sort or an artificial object of carved and highly polished mineral matter. It did not touch the bottom of the box, but was held suspended by means of a metal band around its center, with 7 queerly designed supports extending horizontally. Now, of course, this case, queerly, this is 1920s. It means strangely.
Yes,
extending horizontally. No, nowadays you have to say that. Yeah. 2 angles of the box's inner wall near the top. Exposed, Blake could scarcely tear his eyes from it. And as he looked at its glistening surfaces, he almost fancied it was transparent with half-formed worlds of wonder within. Well, what does it do, man? Used by the cultists of Nyarlathotep. Gnarly. A peculiar box in which is mounted a stone about 4 inches thick. It rewards or damns those who look into it with visions of other worlds and dimensions. Thus, the stone shines with the interior light of things not of our world. When the box is closed, enclosing the gem in total darkness, a hideous avatar of Gnarly comes, known as the Haunter of the Dark, since it abhors light. It will not enter any space where light is present, not even the pale circles light cast by street lamps. The stone exercises great command over human psyches and is believed to be used by worshippers of Gnarly. This artifact is ancient, predating humanity, and possibly manufactured by the Migo on Yugoth. Again, more Migo stuff. But here's the rub. Sure, you look into it, you can see other worlds, other dimensions. It's a really good thing to cast communication spells through. It's also a good way to go just bat crap crazy. But if you leave it open in a dark room, the Hunter of the Dark comes, and who knows what he's going to do? Well, I know, but who knows what he's going to do? Who knows?
Well, Hunter of the Dark, that sounds like Christmas presents and cookies?
Sure, yeah. It's a little more Krampusy, but okay. Okay. Let's look at some more. The tabula rasa device. That sounds good. Used by the Yithians. A device invented by the Yithians to erase the memories of those entities they displaced through time. Okay, quick thing. The Yithians commonly trade consciousness with other races in other time periods to gather information about other people and other things. So this device is used to erase the mind of someone before they send him back. So he won't remember things he's seen or done or the Yithians he's spoken to or, any insanities he occurred. He just won't remember, which is awesome. In a small, slim, rectangular copper box covered with tiny indentations. From one side of the box, 5 flexible metal tubes extend, ending in inch-long metal needles. The needles are inserted into the victim's head, which takes 5 rounds, one per needle, I imagine. Once the device is activated, the victim is paralyzed unless he or she makes a successful power roll each round that the device is connected. Each round, the machine erases up to a year's worth of memories or removes 5 points of intelligence at the operator's discretion. So they can lobotomize you if they want. Yeah. These memories and thoughts are stored in the copper box. The erasure of memories is not always totally complete. Every year, there is an intelligence chance that some memory returns in the form of dreams. The function of this device may also be reversed, feeding stored memories to the original victim or alternatively to another entity entirely. That's a good one. The tabula rasa device is very complex and can only be used by those familiar with Yithian technology. Humans ignorant of Yithian technology would require an extreme intelligence roll to successfully operate the device. Failure would indicate that the person connected to the machine has suffered brain damage and the loss of, wait for it, 1d100 intelligence. So you could lose all of it.
Just all of it. Or very little.
Or very little, or nothing at all.
Hold on.
Yeah, whatever.
1d100 right here, baby.
Do it.
Well, if it ever stops rolling, it's still rolling. Don't fall off the table.
This is why I don't like golf ball hundreds.
Okay, I'm just throwing it in there. I got a 19.
Okay, you lost 19 intelligence. Now, that's a lot no matter how you shake it. That's a lot. You've significantly lost IQ points at that point. So you're
still smart.
Oh, no, that's chapter 14. The Yithians, again, with a temporal communicator communicating through time. Like I said, their big thing is their mental time travelers. These devices are sometimes supplied to human agents of the Yithians. When assembled, the device stands nearly a foot tall, and it looks like a paper mache thing that a 5-year-old would make. When assembled, it is made of bronze and covered with intricate.
No, that's the thing at the beginning of the chapter that you started the segment off with.
This is the thing at the beginning of the chapter, and we'll move on to it in a second. A red jewel attuned to a specific Yithian is embedded into the top of the machine. When the power is switched on, the jewel begins to glow. After a few minutes, contact is established with the Yithian attuned to the jewel. The Yithian may be any distance in time or space. A hologram.
So can I get next year's Super Bowl?
I don't think the Yithian cares, so it wouldn't have recorded that information.
Oh.
Yeah. A hologram is projected of the Yithian, and the Yithian can see in time and space occupied by the machine and thus may communicate with those who have contacted it. A Yithian temporal communicator is fairly straightforward to operate, provided that an investigator can withstand and determine which carving turns it on. And there are a lot of carvings on that. And let's move over to the... There it is. And there's the hologram
not
of
as
the
paper mache anymore.
No, there's the carving of the Yithian. I mean, the hologram of the Yithian. That's what they look like. It's not good. Even seeing that hologram, you're going to lose some sanity.
It's not real. It's just a movie.
Yeah, it's just whatever. It's a movie. So it's all good. Now, this is the crux of the artifacts. The artifacts are there to enhance the keeper's scenario, to enhance the gameplay of the adventure that they're on. So you'd want to place these either because Yithians, Migos, Serpent People, whomever is the main antagonist, or was here, or an old base, or whatever, or have them come across these things in a curio shop to help them gather information or further their investigation in a specific path to help them solve the scenario. So it's the keeper's job to use these items very frugally and pointedly to make sure it doesn't unbalance the game, because any of these can unbalance the game. If a human being figured out how to use the 5 tentacle needle death machine or an intelligence killing machine, and oh man, this is great. The power source never runs out, because it doesn't. And I know how to use it now. I can steal memories from people, implant them in my own brain. This is debilitating to the campaign, because now skill points don't matter.
Yeah.
Think about that. Your players can now kidnap people, take their memories, implant them into themselves, memories of anything, including skills.
You're playing Shadowrun now.
Yeah, you got skill waters now. Basically, yeah, that's it. So be very, very careful what you introduce, how you introduce it, and if you allow the characters to keep it. Because sometimes you won't want to. So do we have any chat?
Yeah, we're gonna do it a little weirdly this time. I'm gonna start I'm gonna start actually at the end, so to speak.
Okay.
The web is eating your skin over time. Let's talk about that gooey web armor thing. Web is eating your skin over
nutrients. Yep.
The web is eating your skin over time, trying to gain its needed nutrients. So yeah, it's like just slowly turning you into like a husk of just.
Yeah. If I were the keeper, I would say it's something like this. You know how flies, they don't really have teeth or claws or anything like that. They kind of vomit on stuff, liquefy it, and then suck it up through their mouth. That's exactly what the web is doing to your skin. If you have it on for more than a day at a time, it will try and liquefy your skin and then suck it up and eat it. It does that. It liquefies your skin where it's touching and then sucks it up, but it doesn't get any nutrient from it. So it still loses a point of armor rating, but you lose permanent points of appearance, hit points, stuff like that. So taking it off while hurting a lot, you're not going to be forever scarred. But if you leave it on for more than a day, I will make you scarred because of it. That's what I would do.
Sure. So, per my comment about science fiction, Call of Cthulhu, there's a game called Eldritch Skies, which is science fiction Lovecraft, but doesn't use BR. I don't know what BRP is.
I don't immediately know.
Is that the name of the rule system for Chaosium?
I suppose.
Okay.
I suppose. But no, I have seen a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of fan-made stuff and stuff even on the Chaosium website for all kinds of different eras. And one of them was a science fiction era.
Okay. I would like you to kind of, but not fully end this segment. Then there are 2 more comments we're going to get to.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and throw up the subscribe.
Yep.
And for those of us watching us live and not on Memorex, we are going to next go through monsters and gods. So what are your investigators going to face against during their trials and tribulations of life in a Lovecraftian nightmare? Well, we're going to find out.
All right, now we'll hit these other comments. I may or may not put these comments in the video side of it. We'll find out. But so I want you to do this without saying poo-poo words, okay?
Okay.
The first one's simple. This one's not a big deal. There's a Rooster's Place says, love me some Delta Green, just hate the politics of the creators. It's the reason why I did this one first before the next one we're going to do. And
yeah, I do my best to ignore the personal life of artists and creators. It doesn't matter to me. I only care about the creation. Now, if the creation is riddled with their personal fifis and politics, then basically they're ruining their creation for 80% of people out there. It detracts from what they're trying to do. Create a game, create a story, let people have a good time. You're putting shackles on the players and the game master before you even start the game. It's a bad move. So as long as they don't do crap like that, it's fine. And I've had Delta Green for years. I've read those books, and I don't recall any overt politics or personal.
It may have been taken over by somebody else. Like, for example, Evil Hat does some stuff with. Okay.
Now,
and Evil Hat's one of the worst company. Like, I seriously, I'm not going to say poo-poo words, but I am going to say if they were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't lose any sleep.
Okay, now to be fair, I have 5th edition rules for
Yeah.
Delta Green, so it's years and years ago. So there's that.
Now that was great. You actually segued way better into this next comment, better than I could have hoped. Which is, so on the Twitch side, and I don't know if he's still watching, but somebody watched our little advertisement and said, "Laugh my butt off. What is entertainment over activism even supposed to mean?" Well, you kind of already detailed that, but please, Heathen Dog, give us a short. So what is it? Why are we concerned about this whole entertainment over activism portion of core values?
A game is supposed to be not just fun. You're supposed to immerse yourself in, very likely, a world that is not ours. So why is it that some creators create worlds that seem to have all of our world's socio-political issues? It doesn't make sense. It detracts from the game. It detracts from the enjoyment of the people who want to escape. Role-playing games are an escape from actual reality. Why are you interjecting reality into a fantasy? I don't understand that. Some common physics, fine. You know, you have to have a framework of physics, right? But I've seen many games that put physics on its head. The game has its own physics, right? Magic obviously doesn't exist in this world, but it exists in there. Why put socioeconomic shackles on your world when you don't have to? I don't get it. So that's what it's for. Keep your activism in your personal life. That's fine. What you believe, what you think, what you personally fight for, the changes you want to make in the real world, more power to you, man. Do what you can to sleep well at night. I'm fine. But put it into the game, you're alienating people. You're making sure your game doesn't sell as far and wide. That's shooting yourself in the foot. And I'm never going to sometimes it's about more than money. Not when you're a company. When you're a company, you got people to pay. You have investors to pay back. You have employees to pay on the weekly. Money is very important to a company, or else they go under, get sued, and lose everything. So So remember that.
The flip side to this is this also started with the calls for people to say that activism, they're actually saying activism over entertainment. They're saying that you have to put activism in the game, otherwise you're not addressing the issues and so forth.
Addressing the issues of the real world is more important in a game that takes place in a completely different world. I never understand that.
And no normal person does. So, yeah. All right, that's all we need to say about that. But I don't know if the dude's still watching. But hey, there you go. And the reason why I had Heathen Dog actually answer that question was because it does come up quite a bit in the comments of various videos.
Well, it's weird to me. I'll give you that.
Me too.
Weird. Rooster's Place says, thanks, guys. And I agree. I think you're correct. And they don't add much of anything into the games. It's just hard to follow them on Twitter or X or whatever based. That's why I don't use Twitter. I don't use Instagram. I have Facebook. I've literally never posted anything personal on it since 12 years ago when my son was born. That was it. Right. So I don't even bother. I don't want to know the personal lives of any creators or artists of whose content that I consume. I don't want to know.
This is why I completely despise Steve Jackson now, because he's used he's always been a little open, but recently he's been so open about his political views for games like GURPS and Munch. If you guys know Steve Jackson games, we are never going to talk about GURPS now. Like, yes. In fact, I lost an account over the fact that I was going to try to cover GURPS. But now with all those little activist nonsense on his website, that's where you lose me. I'm with Heathen Dog. I'm probably more involved. Well, actually, I know I'm more involved than Heathen Dog is. But if you've got your own little personal Twitter and you're a douche nozzle, that's fine. When you do it on the company one,
Twitter, your personal Facebook, your personal Instagram. But the reason you make a company is to separate yourself from the company legally and financially, so people can't sue the company and take all of your personal money. So why are you bridging that gap socially? I don't get it.
Because
It's
they
just
believe
bad.
activism is more important than entertainment.
Activism is more important than the product, and that's
Somehow
the
they
wrong
think they're
way for a
changing
company
the
to work.
world in Dungeons and Dragons. Like, no, you're
No,
not.
you're not changing the world in Dungeons and Dragons. You're not changing the world in Hackmaster, you idiot. No, you're not.